Welcome to the Geek Easy. Sit back, grab a libation of your choice, and relax, 'cause it's time to do some geek stuff in the Geek Easy. Welcome to the Geek Easy, fellow geeks. Grab a beverage of your choice, because today I am going to be reviewing Satan's Hollow, the trade paperback. Well, not paperback, but the trade. It is one of the 3 books that arrived in the Zenescope horror collection that I ordered. I did not know what that entailed when I ordered it. I just knew that it was Zenescope horror, and I love Zenescope horror. That's usually like Grimm's Tales of Terror, stuff like that. And one of the things that I like about said series, the any type of horror in there, is the stories are very well done, and the art is incredible. And this one is no exception. The gist of this book, Satan's Hollow, it says, near the turn of the 21st century, a satanic cult begins to perform experimental rituals in the Ohio woods. These rituals become more and more disturbing and eventually lead to the ultimate evil, human sacrifice. A string of sacrifices eventually open a portal within the hollow that leads directly to hell. But is this all just an urban legend? Now, 20 years later, the last surviving victim of the cult has returned, and something immensely evil has arrived along with her. It is an entity known only as the Shadow Man. One of Zenescope's most terrifying tales in years is here. Collect Satan's Hollow issues 1 through 6. Alright, now, you open it up and we have all the different chapters in here, right? And immediately you can see how great the art is. You have, this nice little page here, and then it comes out, it says, Blue Ash, Ohio. Basically a small little town. And you've got a couple little kids, they're walking up to these tunnels, these caves in some mountains, and they've heard all the stories about what happened in this place. There's some killings, and there's a cult and all that, and they're going in because they want to do like a ghost hunting type of thing. They're going to do a show. Ghost hunters, stuff like that. And they're debating a name, with the exuberance of young kids. But then they see some weird stuff going on in there, and it freaks them out. And bad stuff happens. Then you get the next morning, you have a couple, John and Sandra Ward, who are moving into this, to Blue Ash. Sandra lived there up until she was 3, when her parents died in an accident, and there's a house there that I guess it was her family's when she was there, and her uncle said, come on, move, move. Somehow her uncle had them made it so they could go back. And so they packed up and moved everything out there, I guess, to start over and stuff like that. And, there maybe get some help her remember things that happened when she was a kid, because she doesn't remember ever living here. She just had little flashes of memory. She was 3 when she moved. And they immediately start settling into their life. They go out to the store to pick up some stuff. It's kind of like a Homestead Depot, and you got the sheriff and everybody getting together to try and find the kid who disappeared the night before. And this sets everything up, okay, what happened to the kids, yada, yada, yada. And you start seeing creatures showing up, the spooky stuff, things going on in there. A couple more people are disappearing, and suspicions are being cast on some people here and there. And you get to see the what do you call it? The creatures from hell who had been from 20 years before, who are now trying to get back out because it failed 20 years before. And of course, John and Sandra are caught in the middle, and it turns out that Sandra was, this isn't much of a spoiler because it mentions right here, Sandra is a survivor of what happened there 20 years before, and makes her directly connected. That's why they get involved, or are involved, whether they wanted to or not. One of the things that is good about this story is it takes time for you to get invested with the characters. It introduces the characters, and you see why they've made these decisions. It's not just somebody you don't know, you're going to throw it in there and then stuff starts happening. It's Joe Brusha, who wrote it, takes the time for character development and story development, and builds kind of a relationship with the characters, between the characters and the readers, while moving the story along at a good pace. And then you have Alan Otero, who does the artwork. Here is the creative team right there, who does just incredible work. I mean, this is some just unbelievably well done art. It's better than a lot of stuff you see in the big two. And I appreciate that, because it's just it is beautifully done and kind of just creepy with the mood. And so you combine the really well written story by Joe Brusha, and then Alan Otero's art and the moody colors of Fran Gamboa and J.C. Ruiz. it's a whole package, and it just does wonders for this incredible story. I only have one tiny little thing, and that's just an aesthetic thing that I didn't like because I'm getting older, my eyes are getting bad. They take a what do you call it? One thing they do is when like people are narrating or talking off stage or something. If you look here, they have like the demons and stuff like that have a different color word bubbles. Like the blue, and then there's another one where they have another color. And sometimes it's hard for me to read when it's like that. Maybe it's just my eyes and I'm getting old. I don't know. But that's just me. And I think for most people it might not be a big deal. But I'm weird that way. But I really don't think that detracts from... It doesn't detract from the story at all. Sometimes I just have to, get it closer to the light. Or, so... But that's just me. I recommend getting this story. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5 just because of how great the story is, how beautiful the art and the coloring is, and it was worth it. I have 2 more things to go through on this collection, and if they're as good as this, then it's going to be a fantastic collection. So I'm going to give this a 5 out of 5. So get it, especially if you're a horror fan. And let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and most of all, enjoy your horror comics.